Welcome to another episode of Free Your Mind. I'm your host, Danny Kofi. As you already know, the podcast is going on now. We've been doing this for a minute now, and we always try to get the best people around to make sure we teach a lot of people about what's going on now on our podcast. Today we have a special guest in the house, the one and only Anna Warner.
Hey.
Anna, what's up? How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
No, but we're doing
Thanks
doing
for
very well.
having me.
No, thank you for coming in. I know you flew in,
Absolutely.
this week. We appreciate you coming.
Absolutely.
I know it's not easy, but thank you for coming in.
Absolutely.
And your hair looks good, by the way.
Thank you.
The outfit,
I love
everything.
It.
The
Thank
shoes,
you.
everything. It's on fire. So, first question I want to bring us. So, for people that don't know you, Anna, you want in your own words, can you describe yourself? Describe Anna Warner yourself, the writer.
So I'm a writer and storyteller. I'm African, half Liberian, half Romanian.
Okay.
But I think part of my gifts in this world is to be able to tell stories that provoke thought. And that's what I do. I also consult in my day job, but
Okay.
for the most part, I write books.
So, how do you get it? How do you get ideas? How do you get inspired to write your stories?
I've always been writing since I was a child, right? In journals or poems or whatever it might be, and I knew that I would publish them at some point.
Yeah.
But I wanted to publish something that provokes thought, something that when the reader reads it, they'll get something out of it. So not just any story or anything that's entertaining, right?
Yeah.
I wanted it to be almost like a lesson learned after telling those stories.
Okay.
So this is why I started with His and Hers love story, and I'm proud of it. I'm very proud of it.
So, how old were you when you actually began writing?
Probably 9, maybe.
Oh, wow.
9 or 10.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not much of a talker, and as a child, I didn't talk so much either. But I could write things down, right?
Okay.
And so that I guess that was my way of getting it out there.
Oh,
Right?
that's
Yeah.
nice. I wish I could write. I know I can write stories, but the stories I want to write, I don't think people want to read. The way I am, the stories I write, I probably writing from A, B, C, D.
Well, that's how it starts, though, and then you put them in sentences.
I remember in high school I tried to write a poem. It was good, but I had to copy Casey and Georgia lyrics and everything. The teacher was like, "Yo, how did you get this?" I'm like,
That sounds like some R&B song we
Yeah.
heard.
The funny part, because she didn't know the song, so she thought I wrote a poem. I got an A on it, by the way.
Yeah.
Thank you, Casey and Jojo. So, how many books have you written so far?
So far, I've done the series, the His and Hers, the Soul
Yeah.
Contract, and the Soul Union. But I also have children's coloring books as
Okay.
well, and a journal online. Yeah, so.
So, do you want to tell us a little bit about the His and Hers and the Soul Circle?
Right. So it's fictional,
Okay.
for starters. It's a fictional love story. I'm a believer that there are always 3 sides to every story.
Okay.
He tells his side, she tells her side, and somewhere in the middle, I wanted the reader to decide what the truth is,
Okay.
right? And I guess they fall in love, and they learn lessons in their lifetime. So their story spans many years in their lives, right? They both have to learn lessons about themselves.
Yeah.
I always say things start with self first, right? And eventually they end up together.
So, how are you able to actually realize how they get all this affection, and then they start going on?
Right. So I truly believe, and part of my life experience is that every relationship or friendship that I've had has always been a mirror to me.
Okay.
There's something that I needed to fix or something I needed to learn.
Okay.
And so while their stories are fictional, the lessons in them, in my opinion, would help people for sure, right? Malika, for example, she's the main character in the Soul Contract. And, she's this woman who seemingly has it all, but, deep inside herself, she actually believed that everything that goes wrong in her life is someone else's fault. Without realizing it takes 2 to tango.
That's
What
true.
part did you play in it? And
That's
that's where the lesson was for each of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then another question was, what first made you want to start writing, and why you wanted to share your story?
I think that's just one of my gifts in this lifetime, right? Um, again, I don't talk very much, right? But when I did speak or tell a story, I had a way of conveying it to people. I'm good at even training people, right, to do
Yeah.
certain things. There's a way I know how to say it, and I just think it's just part of what I'm gifted with in this lifetime.
So people that are watching this or hearing this, do you believe in love at first sight?
I don't know if it's. I believe in attraction at first sight.
Okay.
I think love, the way I define it, is much deeper than that. You have to learn, at least for me, love is knowing someone, flaws and all, and allowing them to be that person.
So for me, I know like for men and women is different. Men
Right.
usually is like for attraction is always like the
Right.
first thing,
Right.
and then if it goes forward, then it's much more deeper.
Right.
But I always want to ask this question now: what's the difference between attraction and infatuation?
Attraction and infatuation. Well, I think infatuation is just a step higher than attraction, right? But I will tell you, men and women are different in the sense that women who are still learning, I don't want to call them unevolved, but still learning who they are,
Yeah.
would meet someone and put a lot of expectations on them.
Okay.
They'll meet somebody and start dreaming about their wedding, about what family looks like, about what not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
With men, it's a little bit simpler than that. They're just attracted to them, right? But a woman who has learned who she is and knows what she wants will meet a man, and even if she's attracted to him, she would know if he works for her or not.
Okay.
Right? So
Was there a moment in your life that you realized, yeah, my words really connect to people?
yes, I'm able to say things and people listen. Not only that, I was quite scared or anxious, I should say, in a way. When I published my books, I wasn't sure how it was going to be received, and getting messages from random strangers
Oh,
about
wow.
how it impacted them for
Yeah.
me was like I did the right thing,
Wow.
right? I did the right thing because I mean, like any human being on this planet, we all suffer sometimes from imposter syndrome.
That's
I
true.
wasn't sure if it's good enough. Is
Yeah.
it just good to me or my friends or whoever I've told?
Yeah.
But when you get that from someone who isn't near you, who has nothing to gain from you, right? It kind of fuels me a little bit to say, okay, I'm good at this thing, right?
You know, love have a funny way of working out.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because guys, we meet people, we're like, hey, she looks good. But then ladies more like, okay, he looks good, but what does he have inside?
And that's from a different kind of woman, right?
Okay.
A woman who knows who she is. This is personal about me. I'm a bit private, but I will tell you this. I will say this.
Okay, now we get
now we're getting to it.
I like this. I like this.
For me, I was quite clear. Many years I was single because
Yeah.
I was so clear on what works for me.
Okay.
When I got to know who I am, I knew that the only kind of man that will work for me is someone who had learned who he is,
Okay.
right? Had accepted who he is, flaws and all. Someone
Yeah.
who was highly educated.
Okay.
I wanted someone who was calm and quiet.
And you finally found that person
And I found it, right? And I knew immediately.
that he was the one.
Oh, absolutely. From hello.
Wow.
Yes.
So how did you guys meet?
Danny, this is the last question I'm answering about that.
I know
It wasn't
it's-
anything grand. I just, I went into a random coffee shop and
yeah.
he had seen me there a few days prior. He kept coming back to see if I would come back, and I came back.
See, that's the story I want to hear. That's what people want to know.
Right.
Yeah, because I remember when I first met my wife, it was one of my friends, Jessica, and I used to go drop her off at this place, and I always see
Right.
this girl coming out. And so one time I told her, Jessica, who's that girl?
Right.
Jessica said, oh, this is this. I'm like, no, I think that's the girl. That's the girl I want to meet.
Absolutely.
And I guess next thing you know, 18 years later, we're still chilling.
Yay.
It's
Amen
crazy.
to that.
About 4 kids later,
Yeah.
it's still strong.
Right.
Some
Amen.
craziness sometimes, but it is what it is, right?
Hey, growing pains, right? Yeah.
How has your upbringing influenced your writing? Like the household, your parents?
Yeah. So I've been lucky enough. I'm raised with both parents, especially both parents who are of different races.
Yes.
Right. And so my parents were married, right? And having to have both cultures, I guess it influenced us in a good way. We understood both sides of the same coin, is how I like to call it. But we grew up in Africa, so I'm African,
Yeah.
right? More than anything.
Yeah.
So our our values and our traditions, these are things that, regardless of where I am in the world, I carry that with me every single day,
Yeah.
right? And so my books are, they're told from the voices of Africans in the diaspora because that's who we are, right? And so it influenced in the sense that I'm so grateful. And I said this to a friend the other day. I pray to God that in every lifetime I come back as African. That I'm so grateful for that foundation because the way I see the world and my values, that sense of community and the resilience that we have, I don't think it's anywhere else.
Okay.
And so that, yeah. And so when I do things, I do it fearlessly now because of that upbringing.
So
Yeah.
people that don't know, your mom is from Romania, right?
Yes.
And your dad is from
From Liberia.
Liberia.
Yes.
And you're born in Romania.
I was, yes.
Okay,
My
so
father was an international student.
and met your mom.
I met my mother, and then we moved to Liberia. Yeah.
What made you guys relocate from Romania to Liberia?
My father was going to go home anyways, and
Oh, really?
yeah, of course, and race wise, at the end of the day, we're Black people,
Yeah.
right? It was just, yeah, it was going to be in Africa, nowhere else, and I will give props to my mother who had never left Europe, right, and came to Africa and fit right in.
Oh,
And
wow.
just immersed in the culture. She speaks our dialect. She cooks our food.
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah, cooks
Damn.
our food, and still till today. Actually, I FaceTime her yesterday, and she's like, "I spent $500 at the African market." so,
Wow.
so yeah, that's just who we are. So.
So were you around doing like the Civil War in Liberia?
Yes, it started when I was quite young. I think prior to that, they had a coup.
Yeah.
And so I think everyone assumed it would be short, like a couple days.
Yeah.
We
Just
didn't
like
know,
normally, yeah.
we didn't know it would last 20 years. So yeah, I've been through it. Been everything from displaced to a refugee to an immigrant, right?
Wow.
I like to say I've lived many lives,
Lives,
right?
yeah.
Very different lives, but I wouldn't change it for anything.
Would you like to share some of the experiences that you experienced? Because I know it's very touching. It's a very touching situation.
Right.
But sometimes you know.
At some point, I'll tell that story. I don't want to go depth into it, but I will tell you this. My birthday is coming up on November 5th, right? And every time on my birthday, I remember I had turned, I think, 8 or 9. And we were displaced and we were living in a different city. And on that birthday, we didn't have much, when we left our home basically at gunpoint, get the hell out type
Wow.
thing, right? So you leave with just what's on you. So
Yeah.
we didn't have much. And I will never forget that. My brother and I had crossed the street to play with some friends. Because you're kids.
Yeah, normally African.
Right. And then the bombing started.
Wow.
So that experience of, hearing my mother screaming from across the street, run in the bushes so they don't see you
yeah.
because the planes were killing children.
So it's like aircrafts.
Yeah, aircrafts. And they flew so low that you could see the person who was in there dropping bombs on people. So I always remember that on my birthday. I think for me is pride in how far I've come,
Yeah.
but also that resilience I spoke of.
Yeah.
Nothing's going to break me.
That really no, but I think me who growing up in Ghana before I came here, we used to see them bring the Ghana army will go to Liberia, like in the boat and bring a lot of people out.
Yeah.
At that time, you didn't know what was going to cause. The coup they had in Ghana was more like within the military,
Right.
and then boom,
right.
the next day you hear on the news, "Ooh, this is going on," then boom, and it's done.
Right.
But never what you guys experience.
Right. Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
I've spoken to a few people that have gone through it, and I know it's not easy, but thank God you went through it. I know the experience has made you who you are today.
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. I always, and I think it's because of that, I always try to see in every situation the good side. If I dwell on everything that didn't go well,
Cannot move
I
on.
won't be able to get out of bed, right? And for me, it's whenever things aren't going well, I always remember everything could be worse.
Okay,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I live in gratitude every day, and I think it's because of that experience.
that's great.
Yeah.
Now I want to get back to your writing. How much of what you write comes from real life versus fiction?
So these books are fictional for sure, but like I said before, the lessons in them, I too have experienced them. You know, I speak of not just lessons with failed relationships, but fair weather friendships, right? Backstabbing friends and all of that. I do bring that up in the stories as well, because I wanted the readers to understand that this is a normal part of life,
Okay.
right? You're
Yeah.
going to experience these things, and eventually you're going to learn that, you know, people either meet your frequency or they don't. And it's okay to let them go if they don't.
What do you hope people feel when they read your book?
That they're entertained, one, and that, again, if they're going through stuff, they're not alone. We all go through it, or we all will at some point in our lives, and it's just it's a part of the lessons that we learn. I also hope that if they're going through things, that they learn the lesson the first time to not repeat the same mistakes
That's true.
twice.
So where do you pull inspiration from when you feel quiet or you feel dry?
I don't know that I feel dry. I do get writer's block sometimes, and I step away from it because I just know that, okay, I'm writing something and it's not connecting with me, so it's probably not going to connect with someone else, and I'm okay stepping away from it. But I have a lot of things I want to do with my life, so I tend to pivot my focus to something else and then come back when I feel settled and ready again. So
And has writing ever helped you heal from something personally or any?
oh, absolutely, absolutely. My father died. All I do is write about it. So, you know, like it helps me like literally wake up every day type thing, get out of bed every day. Because there are days where it hits you. If you ever lost someone so close, there are days where it hits you, and other times you think you're fine, and then something will trigger it, right? A thought, or someone would say something, or I would see something and it triggers it. So all I do is write about it.
Sorry to hear that about your dad, by the
Thank
way.
you.
And how close were you with your dad?
Very close. We thought the same way. I really miss him now with the whole world politics, because
Yeah.
he and I would be, you know, African fathers and their BBC, right?
Yeah.
And their news, they'd be on the news all day,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I miss him now more than ever because, yeah, we would be on the phone for hours just going back and forth about, oh, yeah, about the news, about what's going on and stuff like that. So,
You
yeah.
know, one thing a friend of mine said, like, well, I think about a few weeks ago, I was talking to him about when he had his kids, he was not around, but his daughter grew up and found out the guy that just resembled him, his kind of his personality, his life, and everything.
Right.
Do you think with your relationship now, does he resemble, like, would you see something like with your father in him?
Absolutely. They're both very quiet. They talk when they have something to say, and both very highly intellectual. Absolutely, yes.
So
When
is
you have a good relationship with your father, I think that safety is what you find in someone, or at least it's what you attract, right?
yeah.
So yeah, oh, absolutely. Even my mom has said it's like he reminds me of your dad.
Oh wow.
Yes.
Yeah, because for the last few weeks, every lady I speak to, since we started this podcast,
Yes.
they always say this, but I wanted to hear from your perspective, from a writer's perspective.
Right.
I didn't think it was true, but now, like I said, stuff like that we learn. We
Right.
learn a lot.
Yeah. So at least for me, like I said, is that place of safety. Who I am today is a direct reflection of having my father in my life. That's just the truth, right?
Yeah.
How I've lived my life. I've never been out there. I don't go seeking for men. I don't chase men. I've just never been that person. It's because I have a father present, right?
Yeah.
And so that I think that sense of safety, once I felt it with whoever I
Yeah.
am with right
Now,
now, right? That's what the attraction was, and you feel it immediately.
so for the young girls that are out there that haven't had the privilege to be
Right.
around their fathers,
Yes,
what advice do you have for them? What do you think they can learn?
right. My advice to them would be get to know who you are, what you like, what you dislike, what works for you, what doesn't, right? If you are the kind of girl who maybe wants your husband at home for dinner, then maybe a man who travels is not for you.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I
Like,
get
get
what you
to
said,
know
yeah.
what you're comfortable with.
Yeah.
And nothing you're comfortable with is wrong, by the way. It just
That's-
means that's just who you are, right?
Yeah.
So once you figure that part out, when you meet someone and you start getting to know them, you know immediately if it works or not.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's deep.
Yeah.
It makes me want to feel like, what was I looking for? But I guess, at the time when you're a young person, you have to date somebody to get to know them a little bit. Because
Right.
young men out there, I know when you see that Instagram stuff, you think that's what it
It's
is.
not real.
It's not real. It's not real. You want to find the right person, take your time.
Right.
Get off the phone, get off your Instagram or whatever you are.
Yeah.
Get out there, go to a coffee shop,
Yeah.
go out for dinner, go for a walk.
Go for a walk. Yeah.
You never know. That's where maybe you might meet the right one.
Right. Build a friendship
Yeah.
with the person.
Yeah.
Right. Because that friendship again brings, and I keep going back to the word safety.
Yeah.
Because at least I've learned so far, when you're safe with someone, you can get through anything.
Wow.
Yeah. If you feel that safety, you will work it out. Right. So these in our generation, people get divorced very easily and whatnot.
Yeah.
It's because neither of them feel safe enough to be vulnerable and to say these are my needs. You're not meeting them. This is what I need from you, and vice versa. Right.
Yeah.
So in my opinion, once that safety is there, I think you can get through it.
Lately, you see that people get married 2 weeks later, a month later, 2 years
Yeah.
later, you see that they're divorced.
Right.
But back in the days, it wasn't like that.
No.
Back in the days, you married, you fight through it. Any problem, you find a way to fix it and work on it and move on. But now it feels like because of what we see online and what we see
Right.
in our society, people
Right.
just walk away so quick. They
Right.
give up.
Right. Yeah.
It's hard.
And it's celebrated. That's the sad part.
Yeah.
Is when somebody else is hurt, you see people. I see comments where it's celebrated, and to me, it's like, yeah, you broke up with him. He's hurt, and that gives you joy.
It's crazy. It's very, very crazy. What's the hardest thing about being a writer?
The hardest thing about being a writer, I haven't thought about that just yet because I don't find it difficult. It comes easily to me and I allow it.
Okay.
Right? I don't force it. I don't put myself on, oh, I already wrote these books. I wrote them years ago, right? And now I need to write another one. I allow the right story to come at the right time, right? And so I don't find it difficult. Like I said, it's one of my gifts in this lifetime. I don't find it difficult. We do have writer's block, obviously, when other things are happening in my life.
Yeah.
But I'm able to step away from it and come back when I'm ready.
When you look at what you've done so far, what would you tell your younger self?
It's gonna be fine. It's not that serious.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean. It's okay. It's yeah, it might hurt. Learn the lesson and keep it moving. Dust yourself up, get up, and keep it moving. It's gonna be okay. Yeah,
That's cool.
yeah.
What's been the biggest lesson you learned in this journey, like, throughout growing up from Romania to
Right.
Liberia to Edmonton now? Yeah, now you're American,
No,
Canadian
no,
now.
Saskatoon actually.
Saskatoon.
Saskatoon. Yeah, Saskatoon, then Vancouver. The biggest journey in my life thus far that I am proud of is I am authentically myself all the
All the
time.
time.
I had to learn to not please everybody, right? I say no, and I don't have to explain myself if it doesn't work for me. But I'm myself all the time. What you see on social media, that's exactly who I am. There's no difference between that and my real self. And living that authenticity, in my opinion, is freedom.
Okay. What's next for Anna?
I have a few projects on the go. I want to market the soul contract even more than I have,
Okay.
and yeah, so I'm like going back and forth, especially in the U.S. trying to market it. Their market is bigger, and
Yeah, that's
just trying to figure out how I can get it out there because I do think whoever reads it might get something out of it,
That's
even if
true.
it's one thing.
At least
I
you're
think
getting some.
I would have done. Yeah, I would have done my work. So.
Uh, do you have any like anybody that's written to you that have read your book that have enjoyed it? Do you have any quotes that people have sent you? They've like messages like how it has changed your lives.
Right. There was one that I remember because it came at a pivotal time for me.
Yeah.
I had just published the books and I was a little nervous, like, are people going to like it, right? Like,
Yeah.
what would they think? and it was from a random girl who had picked it up. It was in Indigo chapters at the
Okay.
time. And she sent me a sweet message on Instagram, and yeah, it gave me that thing that I needed. Right? She resonated with it. She was going through stuff, and she felt like by writing that I understood her.
Do you want to share?
Sure,
Because
sure,
sometimes it's good to hear from people from what they see, and it's good to hear from real life people, right?
right,
Because people read a book. We don't want the fiction. We want people to hear
right,
what people are gaining from writing it.
right.
Reading these books, and
Okay,
also you as a writer, it's good to know that people are actually enjoying it.
right.
It's like when we see people come to the shop and we see them out there somewhere. Hey man, I remember you from that place. Thank you. And then you get those occasional people. Hey, don't it is what it is.
Absolutely. So I'm not going to say her name here. I
Okay.
blocked it out,
Okay.
but the message went, "Hello, I just finished reading your book. I rarely go downtown, and by chance I was encouraged by a friend to pop into Indigo on Granville. I was pursuing the tarot spirituality section, and just as I was ready to leave, I pulled down two decks from the top shelf, and your book fell out onto me completely out of place. I couldn't even find where it should have gone. I opened it, and a single sentence about twin flames smacked me real hard about what I'm currently going through. I'm very up in arms in a cliffhanger. It stole my breath. Thank you so much for writing this. You have no idea how much I needed something like this. I felt so alone and confused, and your words literally fell in my arms. Thank you so much. Anyways, thank you for reading this message. Should it ever find you, have a happy moment soon."
Wow, that's nice.
So yeah, a complete random lady. And when I got that, of course, I responded to her. And yeah, as much as she needed to read it, I needed her confirmation as well.
Did you get a chance to meet her
I
personally?
did not get a chance to meet her. No, she actually lived in New York. She's from
Oh,
Abbotsford, but she
oh
lived in
wow.
New York and she was visiting. Yeah. So we just communicated a few messages back and forth on Instagram, and yeah.
So are you able to tell the viewers where to find your books, where to find your stuff?
Absolutely. On Amazon, obviously. If you want to download the digital copy, again, it's on Amazon, but also a new platform called Curios for authors,
Yeah.
Curious. And yeah, you can find my books online. And if you do purchase it and read it, please message me and let me know what you thought.
And also, I wanted to say something so nice. I had this thing written in my head, but guess what? Sometimes it goes away. You know, love do exist. Good people do exist. And Instagram is not the best place. Online is not the best place. You might find them looking all what they are, but you might not find what you're looking for. I've I've listened to Anna, I've talked to Anna, and I've talked to so many people. Love exists, but in so many different ways. And you gotta take your time, get to know people. Like she said, it's good to be friends with people. You get
Right.
to know them. Love doesn't just happen in 1 day, 2 days. It takes time. Trust is the same thing. You don't just gain somebody's trust just overnight. It takes time.
That is
So
true.
whenever whoever you meet, whoever you feeling like you want to meet, take your time to get to know the person. Because life, whatever you want, you can get. As long as you put your mind to it, and as long as you believe in it, it will happen. So I know.
Yes, I'll just chime in there and also be authentically yourself. Do not portray something that you're not.
Yeah.
If somebody likes you, they're going to like that person. Flaws and all, it doesn't matter. Just be yourself, and the right people usually find you, whether it's in relationships or friendships, they'll find you. I
Yeah.
promise.
Because there's people that live in Vancouver, people that live in South Africa, people that live in Bangladesh, people that live in Prince George, Mackenzie somewhere. But guess
Prince
what? They
George.
found love.
They did.
So
They
anything is
did.
possible.
Yes.
Thank you so much, man. We
Thank
really,
you
we
for
really
having
appreciate
me.
you.
Thank you for having me. And again, thank you for what you're doing here. I appreciate you trying to bring us together so we can teach our younger brother and sisters that there's way more to life than the box that they might be thinking of. So think
re-
outside the box, step outside of
I
it.
really, really
Yeah.
appreciate this. Bottom of my heart. You don't know how much we appreciate it. We really like you. We enjoy you. And, we all the best wishes, every book that you write, and we will, we will keep pushing everything that you write.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Thank you.